Hi everyone, it's Laurie. I'm back again for day 24 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. Tarot decks that we wish existed. So this is fun. This is really fun. I look forward to finding out what other people talk about. Tarot cards that I wish existed from a completely artistic or aesthetic point of view. The first one is a woman, and she's a contemporary artist. She's doing art right now. Her name is Leilani Joy. I'll put her information down below. I first found out about her because she's one of my younger daughter Gracie's favorite contemporary artists. And Gracie has a lot of her artwork in her bedroom. And for Mother's Day, I think it was last year, Gracie gave me a set of postcards with different female goddesses on it. There's Kali. I think Pan. I think is there a female Pan? I think that's who that is. The Morrigan, and then the Three Fates. And I have them hanging up in my kitchen. So I like her artwork a lot. I think Gracie just told me that Leilani Joy has started reading tarot for herself. So maybe she will be thinking about doing an indie tarot deck, because I think her artwork would be absolutely fantastic. Kind of examples of some of her artwork. So here is one. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Oh gosh. See how beautiful that is? I'm trying really hard not to get a glare because this is on the iPad. So there we go. There's another one. And those are this is kind of whimsical. And then there's some that are not quite so whimsical. Look at this. And isn't that fantastic? Here's one more. I'm sorry. Queen of Wands. What do you think? Yeah, she'd totally be the Queen of... Whoops, I went back. I have one more. This one, I don't know. We thought maybe the Hermit, and then I thought, oh, maybe the Sun. Or of course she could do completely original artwork, but her stuff's just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and that's it. Another artist I really like, and he died about 20 years ago, I think. And so I asked who this artist was, and the man told me the artist's name, he was a Dutch artist, and his name was Rain Porchlight. Rain Porchlight, like if it rains, turn on your porch light. Yeah, that's not how you say it. So it's if anybody here is Dutch, yeah, I apologize. Apparently, his name is Rin Portvliet. Rin Portvliet. I'm sorry, I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. You have probably seen his work because he has a very famous book about gnomes, and you've probably seen this everywhere because they make catalogs and garden gnomes, and he's like the original garden gnomes guy. But he does more than that. He was a super talented artist, and yeah, he did gnomes, but he also did some beautiful wildlife, really beautiful different wildlife and things like that. He also did some kind of fantastical things such as goblins and what is this over here? Elves. Can you see that? More than the gnomes, which this is an old family favorite book. More than the gnomes, he did an absolutely fantastic book about the life of Jesus. And the book is called, I've had this for ages and ages. He Was One of Us. You can see, and it's like a huge book. Can you see how big that is? It's like huge. And his artwork in this book is absolutely phenomenal. He starts out sort of showing that Jesus, the person of Jesus, was just like a human being, just like the rest of us. He was a baby, with a father and a mother. And you can see he played. And, oh, can you see this? I can't see if you can see this or not. And he played and he grew up in first century Palestine. Just like any other child. And Here's a later depiction of Jesus along with his friends or his disciples, as they're often known. And I can't see at all. There we go. I'll stand up. I think this here in the oranges is the Jesus illustration, or his, I guess, execution. Here's a beautiful. I absolutely love this one. When the disciple Mary, one of his female disciples, went to the, if you know the story, went to the tomb on the third day to tend to the body, and it wasn't there. And then she met a gardener, who she found it wasn't the gardener, but was really the risen Jesus, and she was so happy that she went running back. And just look at her face. She looks a little maniacal in there, but really, it's quite happy in real life. She looks a little bit like a maniac. Sorry. But no, she just looks like, completely like thrilled to bits. And I love his artwork in this particular book. This is a really nice book actually too. Particularly if you're a person who has been, I'm a Christian. And I know a lot of people have been very wounded by Christianity and by people who call themselves Christians, and I'm really sorry that has happened to you. And I apologize, and I feel very badly about that people have done that in organized religion. And if you've had a bad experience with people who call themselves Jesus followers, this could potentially be a book that, even just looking through it at the library, would kind of maybe give you a bit of a feeling for the person of Jesus, even if you don't think, if you still don't think very much of the people who call themselves his followers. Is that a Gandhi quote? I like your Christ, but I don't think much of his followers, or something like that. Isn't that Gandhi? I don't know. So anyway, Bryn Portflip. Okay, so that's like just for aesthetics, who I think would make really neat tarot cards. As far as content, well, for a couple of years now, I've been doing Akashic record readings, as well as I do a bit of spirit guide readings and those other sorts of things. The process by which I do it is a type of pathwork. It's a type of meditation. And that's how I do the readings. And it can be at times, for me, my personal experience, it can be at times a little bit taxing. And I would really like to see some tarot cards that I could sort of use to help as energetic support for those types of readings, those types of travels that I do. And I did get the Star Child Akashic, which is a very pretty deck. And for people who like that kind of deck, that's a great deck. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just it did not work at all for the purpose for which I got it, which was to use as support for Akashic record reading, mainly because it was not at all vibrationally, energetically in alignment with what actually happens when I do my Akashic record reading work. That's just me. Other people approach it differently, and that's fine. Just for my personal practice, it's a little bit different. It's so I've looked online a little bit, and I think there are a couple decks that I'm going to try out potentially for that, and I'm going to try the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, which is by Robert M. Place, and I just got his app on my iPad. So there are a couple, just from looking at this app, I feel like there are some cards that really feel like they hold that similar energy for what I experience when I'm doing Akashic record readings. And one of them is Magician, and it's not going to move, sorry. One of them is the High Priestess. And I'm only going off of these electronic images. The World card, which in this, I guess in this deck is called Prudence. Gosh, can I make it bigger? A little bit. It's hard to tell off the internet, isn't it? I mean, it's really hard to tell. But just looking at it, it sort of feels like that's sort of vibrationally kind of a good place, and those are very strong energetic cards, and I feel like they could help to hold a sort of hold the boundaries of the energetic pathway. So that's a possibility. I'm gonna try. I think I might try getting in that deck. Another one that I think I might try is Margaret Peterson deck. From what I've seen on the internet, seems to be vibrationally like it could potentially be along those lines. I don't know. We'll see. And then Tarot of the Spirit is another deck that I really want to get, and I think, but I think that would work a little bit better with Spirit Guide and Guardian Angel readings, because that is different vibrationally. Yeah. So I would like the perfect Akashic Record reading tarot and the perfect Spirit Guide reading tarot for energetic support. I don't know if I'll be able to find those. And last of all, so I went over artistic, aesthetic, and then I went over content, the type of content I like to see in a potential tarot deck. The last thing this merges these both together. I would love to see a deck that is based on the work of Rudolf Steiner and Anthroposophy. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I've been a longtime student of Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner put a lot of artwork in the Goetheanum, which is a big building in Dornach, Switzerland, which I have never been to, but someday I want to go to. There's an auditorium that he painted the ceiling on. You can see a little bit of it here. And he also, oh, here's some more artwork from the ceiling. It's just absolutely fantastic, and it is so deeply, oops, sorry, let me get my post-it there, so deeply spiritual. But somebody they'd have to do it right. You know, they couldn't just slap the artwork on. They'd really have to do it right. He did some beautiful windows, stained glass windows. Here's the red window, obviously. And the green window. I'll stand up so I can see what you're seeing. Here is the blue. The violet window. And then there's a pink, I think it might be called rose, the rose window. And on the ceiling itself, let me grab the photo. So this is what the whole tableau looks like. But then within, whoops, sorry. Within the tableau, there are some just amazing, and no, this isn't gonna work. Just some amazing pieces of artwork. That's my dog. He's ringing his bell because he wants to be let out. So, I don't know if you can see that. That could be the Magician. Just stunning. I think I'm at the end. Yeah, I'm at the end. And they're even like Steiner style. Ooh, just a minute, honey, just a minute. Steiner style artwork. Something like that, which other people have done sort of in his style. I think that would be fantastic, but they'd have to do it right. I wouldn't like it if it wasn't done really right. So that's it. Day number 24. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.